where the conflict is continuing. Fighting between Israel and Hamas continues to intensify, especially in Gaza.
The Israeli military is now ordering civilians to evacuate their homes, but Hamas is urging Palestinians to stay. Fox 5's Briella Tomasetti is live at the United Nations with the very latest on the conflict as we know it. Good morning, Briella.
Tana Tashani, good morning to both of you. Security here outside the UN remains tight, perhaps a little less tight during the overnight hours. Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is overseas in Israel as we speak. He plans to meet with senior government officials, to get a firsthand look at weapons delivered by the U.S. earlier this week. Israel has ordered more than 1 million civilians living in Gaza City to evacuate, advising all people to move south of the Gaza River within 24 hours. The Israel Defense Forces posted this message on X, saying it is believed that Hamas terrorists are hiding in Gaza City inside tunnels underneath houses and inside buildings populated with innocent Gazan civilians. The military also warned in the following days the IDF will continue to operate significantly in Gaza City and make extensive efforts to avoid harming civilians. Hamas, on the other hand, is telling all Palestinians to stay put. Israel has begun lining up tanks near the Gaza Strip for a potential ground invasion against Hamas. Its evacuation warning also applies to all United Nations staff and to the hundreds of thousands who have taken refuge in their facilities. The UN is urging Israel to reverse its decision, saying it's impossible to move that many people without devastating humanitarian consequences. Israel has dropped bombs during more than 2,000 airstrikes since Saturday. The Jewish state continues to pound infrastructure in Gaza, leveling entire neighborhoods and reducing buildings to ash and rubble. Hospitals are inundated with patients and morgues are overwhelmed. Egypt has also beefed up security along its borders with Gaza. 2,800 people have died so far on both sides, and Hamas is believed to be holding about 150 hostages. Hamas says Israel's heavy bombardment of the Gaza Strip has killed 13 hostages, including foreigners. The U.S. death toll has risen to at least 27, with over a dozen Americans still unaccounted for. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and families of the missing yesterday.
We are beyond grateful for the support of the American government, and we are asking the Secretary of State and the President and the international media for the immediate release of the hostages and those missing in action.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin touched down in Tel Aviv this morning. This coming as the U.S. government plans to start evacuating Americans on chartered flights out of Israel. Citizens will be flown out of the war zone to sites in Europe. The U.S. Embassy in Israel urged patience, though, as it'll take time to reach everyone who is trying to leave. Those who were lucky enough to already make it out say they're counting their blessings.
It was a very, very, very terrifying experience. We had no way to get our children back. We were scared. We were praying and praying and praying.
The United Nations has opened an appeal for $294 million in aid for Palestinians living on the Gaza Strip and also in the occupied West Bank. For now, though, we're live outside the UN. Tana Tashani, back to you.
Okay, Briella, thank you very much.